Then you see a leg, a leg with everything else, and it's tight, then I guess you know the answer already. That's a big no-no, not just a no-no. Strong Muslim is better than weak Muslims. It means tells us only about Iman, about health, or both. Wallahi, what the interpretation that I've read deals with Iman. And it may include both. But I cannot give you anything conclusive. The hadith, Prophet said, "Al-mu'min al-qawi khayrun wa ahabbu ila Allah min al-mu'min al-da'if." The strong believer is better and more beloved to Allah than the weak believer. Wa fi kullin khayr, and each one of them has goodness. The brother's asking, does it include physical strength? Were you a big macho man, or only your iman? I mean, we need strong men. Don't get it wrong. A Muslim should be strong in the case that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows the Muslims to do what is expected of them to do in terms to defend the honor of the Muslims. Then some men must rise for the occasion, and they should not be as skinny as myself. Can we hang frames at home? Quran versus calligraphy? No. No. A'udhu billah. The scholars give a fatwa. I know he said this, I'm the most extremist person in the world. Nothing mushkila. I love the Sunnah. If you hang, how often have you come into someone's house where you read Ayatul Kursi is so adorned that you cannot even read the words, ya akhi. Allah has, the H is going all the way around, the whole ayah going like this, coming out of the frame, hanging with a little thread. Ya Shaykh, this is the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is supposed to be magnified. Then the people will have an ayah says وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ, and they're backbiting, smoking cigarettes right under the ayah. So this becomes mockery of the verses of Allah. So the Prophet ﷺ, his companions, the Quran they were living the Quran in their hearts, in their character, in their behavior. They were not hanging it on the wall in nice frames and then going against it all day. It will be a hujjah against you on the Day of Judgment. On the Day of Judgment, it will speak, the frame, that you disregarded the reminder from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You adorn your house with Iman. The Prophet ﷺ used to say in his dua, وَزَيِّنَّا بِزِينَةِ الْإِيمَانِ, and adorn us with the adornment of faith. This is how you beautify your house. This is how you beautify yourself, with Iman and righteous deeds. Not with the hanging frames of Quranic verses and things of this nature. This was burnt on the way here. In elementary schools, they use pictures to differentiate between animals and people. Is this right? As I mentioned, the idea of pictures is something that is totally unnecessary in every way, shape, or form. Now, if the book that the school uses are pictures, that's one thing. But I'm talking about you drawing. The drawing is the thing that we're trying to avoid. Some of the scholars say if the knowledge can only be attained through books with pictures, then this concession is there because of necessity. You see what I'm saying? But it does not mean that your son or your daughter will be the ones drawing pictures in school. That they don't have to do. Even if they get 0 in art, inshallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they will be successful in the future, even if they get 0 in art. MashaAllah. The sunnah and the meaning of hukum, the siwak. What's the hukum? Is it sunnah? Then the sunnah meaning, the general meaning, actions, sayings, approval. Yeah, the hukum of the siwak is a voluntary act of worship. There's nothing that indicates that it's an obligation for you to clean your teeth. But come on now. Do you really not want to clean your teeth? If you mean that you will be using a toothbrush and a toothpaste and you don't want to use the sunnah, then you are losing on the reward of attaining the pleasure of Allah. The Prophet ﷺ said, "As-siwak matharatun lil-fam, mardatun lil-rabb." It is purifying for the mouth, pleasing to Allah. Pleasing to Allah. So have a siwak, ya Shaykh, before the salah, after the wudu, you use it. Even if you brush your teeth, then you use other means of cleaning yourself, your mouth at least. Why also not add the siwak for that virtue? But to say it's an obligation, I don't know of it being an obligation. Wallahu ta'ala. What of the people who follow the sunnah outwardly? Beard, no isbal. And not the whole sunnah, like following the complete Islamic personality, right of brotherhood, etc. Is that true? Is it true that outward Islamic appearance and harshness are an attribute of the Khawarij? Yeah, without a doubt. Actually, the Khawarij, the Prophet ﷺ told his companions, the Khawarij are the first group to deviate from the mainstream Islam by declaring the Muslims to be kuffar because of major sins that they believed they committed, and then they went against them to kill them also. The Khawarij, the Prophet ﷺ told his companions, if one of you was to compare his prayer to their prayers, he will find his prayer to be nothing. Your the companions. To that of the Khawarij, nothing. He said, but if they are the dogs of the fire. And if I were around, I will kill them like the people of Ad. The Prophet ﷺ told us this about them. These are people who had the Islamic attitude outwardly, but they were vacant inside. Because they did not have knowledge. They were worshipping Allah, but they lacked the right knowledge. So we don't want a mutawwi' outwardly and a wicked person inside. Is that clear? We don't want to look like the Prophet ﷺ and then be the worst one in following him. Now, I speak of myself first. We all have shortcomings. Sometimes we do make mistakes. We do not represent the Prophet ﷺ correctly, although we may carry a beard and have our clothes above the ankles. But that does not mean that because there are some Muslims who do have a beard, do have their pants above the ankles, but don't act right, that the one who doesn't have a beard and doesn't have his pants above the ankles will not do it anymore because they are these kinds of people. You see, that does not allow that. Each one of us is supposed to follow. You do your job with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, don't worry about the people. But yes, it is not okay to look Muslim, to look according to the Sunnah outwardly and abandon the character of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rather, we bring both. But the hadith says, there's a piece of flesh in the heart, in the body. If it is sound, the whole body will be sound, ya akhwan. You know what that means. If the heart is sound, then your body will follow the Sunnah because that's soundness. If it's corrupt, then your body will not follow as well. So I'm sure that's clear without any further elaboration. A dress for the woman in front of the mahram man, brother, son, father, she should wear in a modest way, where she, usually they say she may show her arms and her upper chest area with the neck, her hair obviously, and her feet. This is what a woman may show to her maharim, but nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. Still, the sister should have modesty because the companions and the wives of the Prophet ﷺ used to have modesty, and it's recommended to have modesty all the time. But as far as revealing, it's the arms, the upper part of the chest, the hair and the feet. There's no harm for a sister to show these to a mahram, of course, due to the nature of the relationship of the blood ties. We have some graduation pictures hanging on the house, on our school walls to attract applicants. Can we turn it around after the school is over? You want to get me out of here, huh? I want to give you the answer that you say, oh Allah, the brother told us in the lecture. You do what you think is pleasing to Allah. Let me remind you of the website. Please, there's a question? No.
I can ask.
Oh, you want to ask? Fadl, I'm sorry.
Do you have a question here?
No, I'm done.
Okay. The first one is a point, not a question, which is, I think we can put curtains here. Sorry, curtains.
We tried, it didn't work. Next.
Okay. The next one, what about human sounds? I think all of us follow Majd or Huda channel. The human sounds like and so on.
It's a calamity. I'm just going to give you a quick answer, okay? When we say nasheed, we acknowledge that the Sahaba used to do nasheed. We agree on that. What is nasheed? Shi'r, poetry being recited in an attractive way. Can you imagine one of the Sahaba or some of the Sahaba sitting in the background going, Can you imagine them doing that? Today, ya akhi, people want to trick Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for Allah al-Azim, it's sad. These channels, may Allah guide them and rectify them. They have a lot of good material. But if they only took these things out so they can keep life simple for the people. I am an idiot. I don't make a difference between a machine or a human sound. To me, it all sounds the same. You see, I've heard this before. It sounds like music. But if you say music, so no, akhi, this is brother's vocal.